ladies and gentlemen, to the Naliah Talk Show, where we talk about nothing but y'all. Today we're going to talk about a very unpleasant topic, terrorism. Many people have been aware of the devastating attacks that have been happening, but not a lot of people talk about it. So I decided to get really in depth to why terrorism exists and why terrorism feel that their actions are just. Like, what are the potential factors behind it? The mental, emotional, physical, whatever causes terrorism to be what it is. Now I want to specifically focus on the Muslims, the jihadists, into why exactly they do what they do, which is establish fear in our nations. So today I decided to invite two professional philosophers who really study in the human behavior, who try to dig deep in this controversial topic of terrorism. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Aristotle and Kant. Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. Please sit down. Please sit down. Thank you. Oh, sit down. Thank you for coming. So, how are you guys?
I'm happy. I'm good.
Alright, now I'm fully aware that two of you are experts in describing human behavior. I'd like to start with Aristotle. What do you think of terrorism?
I firmly believe that all of this is relative. You could say that the run-of-the-mill Westerner lives a casual life, assuming we all know what I'm talking about when I say that, which is a good life according to Western society standards. But on the jihadist perspective, following the Quran is a casual to jihadist society. And personally, I think a person's happiness and goodwill is determined by the society they live in. Can I really blame the jihadists for bombing several people in a public place in France? For all I know, the jihadist, in the last moments of his life before blowing himself up, felt in every way justified in what he was doing, as in comparison to the Western world, they say it's an insane and morbid.
How about you, Kent? What do you think?
I disagree with you, Aristotle, because I firmly believe that we should treat others the way we wanted to be treated by others. Ask yourself, would I like it if I died by someone else's explosive suicide? Clearly, the jihadist lacks empathy and does not put himself in the shoes of the other person.
Again, might I tell you that the virtues that he grew up with are different from the virtues that you grew up with? Who are you to tell him that his virtues are inferior to yours? What makes yours so special? To each his own. I say for happiness of a man is to endure doing well what he does that is typically of a man.
So, shall you promote continued bombing in the first world country? Will a Westerner let the jihadist bomb him simply because the jihadist is pursuing his happiness but takes away the happiness of the Westerner? How can you say to each his own when one man destroys what belongs to another?
The jihadist is clueless and blameless for what he did. Taking your concept of putting yourself in others' shoes, wouldn't you just be doing the same if you grew up the way he did? After all, he, according to his society, is a true man of Allah.
Tell me, to what society do you belong to?
Of Greece.
What does society in Greece talk about jihadists killing themselves and people who may not even be anywhere involved in the cause of the bombings?
It's wrong.
Exactly. For why are you quick to stand up for a society's morals which aren't even yours? I'd respect you more if you would just stick with one society's morals rather than being indecisive on two.
Well, I believe
I hate to stop you, Aristotle, but if you just hit commercial break, hold that thought. I really do want to hear what you have to say. But as for now, stay tuned, folks, as the ethical and moral reasoning behind terrorism is further being discussed. And after, we'll have a live Skype call with the actual jihadists from the Taliban to speak with us tonight on the Naliah Show.
This new Old Spice shaver is so amazing it'll shave off every hair on your face. Oh no, I'm a hair. You're about to get shaved. Oh no! Wait, we sure had a lot of fun times together, didn't we? Remember that time in the amusement park? It was the best day of my life. I'm sorry! Spice electric shaver. It's sharp. That's one sharp shaver.
Welcome back to the Naliah Show. Continuing our discussion on terrorism, Aristotle claims the jihadists to be blameless, while Kant claims them to be senseless. Who's right? Who's wrong? Let's find out. So, Aristotle, I remember you were responding to Kant about the question he said to you earlier. What is it?
Kant was asking me why I'm quick to stand up for the jihadists, but not for my own country. Now, Kant, I never said anything about me supporting jihadists and what they do. In fact, I disagree with them senselessly killing off people through their terrorist attacks. However, what I'm trying to prove here is that the jihadists, for all you know, might have not seen the values which are held in other countries but his own. Thus, the sense of ethics is only that of the Quran.
You're absolutely right, Aristotle. But I'd like to add on to that remark. Although a man who is surrounded by jihadists is expected to be one himself, I ask you, Aristotle, does not the man have free will? For the culture of a society may influence a man's character, but it is the man who allows himself to be influenced by culture.
That's ridiculous. You're basically saying that if a little boy is molested by his father, it is the little boy's fault for having been molested by his father because he supposedly in his free will allowed his father to commit such an abomination?
I'm not saying that.
Wait, let me clear things up. So basically, we can't look at anyone's situation the same as another, although situations may be similar to each other. That in order to determine if an individual is blameless or guilty in what he did, you would have to form a new opinion to formally analyze whether a man's act was good or bad?
Exactly. However, we all can agree that killing another person is wrong, correct? Would you want somebody to kill you? Aristotle, what do you say?
I suppose.
So whose opinion is the most vital one? For we focus on determining on whether a man's act is good or bad, but not all regarding the Islamic religion. Oh, look at the time, commercial break. Please be patient, folks, as we take another break. After so, we will try to answer all the questions from actual jihadists from the Taliban. Stay tuned.
New Old Spice shaving gel is newer than a fresh pair of socks.
Newer than a New Jersey.
Newer than a new mouse, baby.
Newer than an unopened gift from your stepmom.
Everything's talking.
Newer than the waffle iron that's inside me.
Newer than the new solar panels that were installed on the roof.
And I'm the newest thing there is.
You're not as new as me.
I have a son. What else is new?
Welcome to the Naliah Show. During the commercial break, we realized that in order to properly judge a religion, we must look into the doctrines and the leader behind it. Who is Muhammad? Now I also know that Aristotle and Kant have done some study on the Quran. That being said, we can take their opinions on the Quran and compare it to the actual jihadist opinion of the book. So let's Skype Ismail Abad, who is a radical Muslim and is well informed about the Quran. Hello Ismail Abad, thank you for being with us today.
Hello, yes.
So today I just want to ask for your point of view on terrorism. Why is it that people of your religion go around bombing various people and places around the world? Why do they terrorize the nations?
Well, it's only relative. They do it all in the name of Allah, being true in what they do. I believe that they are sincere in their hearts, having the honest intentions of serving Allah. Now, I do feel sorrow for the loss of lives, but simply it is stated by Allah that unbelievers must be punished for their disbelief.
Indeed. And jihadists bomb other people because they feel in every way that they are spreading the glory of Allah, thus even rejoicing at the deaths of the unbelieving. The jihadists have no empathy whatsoever, not even being able to scripturally support having empathy for the loss of lives during their bombings. Tell me, what's so empathetic about Quran 9:5 and Quran 9:29, which are obligated commands from Muhammad to kill all who do not believe Allah.
Well, the Quran is telling us not to kill unbelievers, as there is no compulsion in religion, as said in the Quran 256. Plus, there are many ways of interpreting the Quran, all of them wrong except ours. So, Aristotle, just as everyone is entitled to their happiness and can't believing in being treated by the ways one treats others, I believe we are entitled to our own interpretation of the Quran, however wrong it may be, as well as a Muslim being able to feel empathy for those who lose their lives during the bombings.
Speaking of interpretation of the Quran gives a certain way of interpreting it, evident in verses 2:106 and 16:101, where the latest commandments given out are the ones which Muslims should be following. Muslims would have to look at history to see which orders were given last, so they can understand which orders are the most recent. Only then would you truly know which commandments to follow.
And so far, as history claims, the most recent commandments from Muhammad involve killing all unbelievers. So technically, the Muslims with the correct interpretation are the ones who kill unbelievers.
You philosophers! Allah will place sevenfold upon you for making his people a foolish nation, when in reality, we are the true nation.
Is he now? How can I call religion truth if the Quran is a scientific catastrophe? You Muslims believe that a sperm is formed between the backbone and ribs, that the earth is flat, that there are 7 earths, the sun revolves around the earth. So wait, which one? That there's an incorrect formation of the embryo. If Allah is now holding the sky would fall, and the stars in the sky are missiles to be fired at any demon who tries to infiltrate heaven?
Your beliefs are also ethically unreasonable. You believe that you must kill everyone who does not believe in Allah, only showing mercy to those who accept Allah as their God. Beat your wives to submission if they are disobedient. Cut off the hands and feet of those who disobey Allah. It's deemed okay to rape your female wives, captives, and slaves, and have sex with pubescent girls.
Allahu Akbar!
My God, folks! Truly, now we understand the foolishness and hypocrisy which goes on within the Islamic religion. What more evidence do we need from what we see today? Surely, what can we conclude of terrorism from jihadists?
After today's talk show, it has only led me to rethink my beliefs. For now, I see the flawed perspective of happiness being subjective.
I understand that every man has his free will. However, to determine whether a man is guilty or not, we must always form a new opinion in order to avoid prejudice and misunderstanding. I promote treating others as myself, but now I come across another question. What is the point in doing so? For at least the Muslim has a purpose for what he does, that is, for Allah, despite Allah being unreasonable through the Quran.
Now we are sparked with a new question, the existence of eternal God. But we'll save that for another day, as today is already a lot to take in. Here's the moral of today. No man's opinion is better nor less than the other. So what is the point? What is truly the way which man should be living up to? This is the Naliah Show, and thank you for watching.